Is the shortest distance between 2 points all that life is about? Is that all there is? Shouldn't life be a journey? Or is it just that it begins and ends according to a journey that's all known in advance?
In some ways, our cities are not built at a human scale. Our cities are not built for people to walk and to meet on the street. They're mostly built for people to move quickly in a car or on a bus from one place to another.
The city doesn't exist for the passage of automobiles. It exists for people. So design the city for people, and lots of other things that are wonderful and healthy will happen if that's your design assumption.
What if it wasn't a priority for the developers to create a landscape where people would speak? I mean, does anyone feel at home in a box? Does anyone feel at home where there is no sense of place, where there is no differentiation? You travel within the grid and you see where you're going the whole time. There's no subtlety, there's no surprises, there's very little that feeds your senses. It's simply a question of getting from one destination to the next with little in the way of interaction or experience or communication or relationship building along the way. The grid is specifically designed to not have that utility, to simply be a transportation corridor, to walk on this side and walk on this side, but not necessarily meet each other unless you collide in a car. The grid that we inhabit is called the Roman grid. The greater part of the story is that it was established in 1785 through the National Land Ordinance of the Continental Congress. They were looking at a way to organize westward expansion. The grid has essentially moved through time. It's become normal to many people, and yet its impact in dividing people and organizing their lives remains the same. Profound, ensuring social isolation. If people have more opportunities to interact with other people and have more variability in their experience, then they have a chance to do just about anything, to solve their problems, to learn, to advance their ideas, and to have a more fulfilling and creative experience with other people.
So where do you do those things? Where do you get to be an American if you don't have the public gathering place? So that was the genius of intersection repair and city repair's work, is to say, remember public space? We should have that too. Let's create it.
City Repair started in a neighborhood in Portland where the neighbors felt the need to create a public gathering place in their community. We facilitate the design process and assist neighborhoods in the creation of the public place, and we also bring people together in large citywide celebrations around the idea of public placemaking. Initially, many people interact with the City Repair Project through some of our mobile projects like the Earth Day celebration and the Tea Horse. We are sharing food, sharing tea. There's usually music involved, and it's an event where people will come together and they begin to think about the possibility of creating a permanent place in their neighborhood where that sort of activity could happen.
Okay, I think I can understand that, but it stretched for me. I'm a believer in public space. I'm an advocate for the common good, but this was something pretty strange and radical to me.
The first response of city officials was to say, no, you can't do that. It's never been done before, and besides, that's public space, so no one can use it.
You know, from my point of view, I feel like our transportation officials were doing their job. They need to stop people from taking over the street. I want them to do that.
So we simply stepped across the line together. We broke the law literally, and shortly after that, by ordinance, the entire city was allowed to do it. We all stood there together. Grandmothers, little kids, whole families that had never known each other, even though they'd lived across the street from each other for 10 years, were standing there together, having painted the street and built these lovely things on the corners, just saying, ours, ours, our village, our turf, our place. Well, as soon as we put these projects in place on the ground, it transforms the bureaucracy and the political leadership.
So watching the transformational effect on bureaucratic thinking was a sideshow, but an added benefit to the transformational effect on people in the neighborhood and how they related to each other through that created public space.
Our ancestors did it for thousands upon thousands of years. In fact, having a sense of place at a crossroads or a gathering or a convergence of pathways is how we built culture. It's how we learned how to speak. It's how we first learned how to sing.
Intersection repair is City Repair's major project. It is a project where a group of neighbors can transform an ordinary neighborhood intersection into a vibrant public place. The Village Building Convergence was an incredible event that brought together thousands of people around the idea of intersection repair. It brought together experts in public placemaking, in permaculture and natural building, public planners and architects from all over the country, as well as many people from Portland who got their hands right in the dirt and in the paint and were building public places around the city.
In the beginning, this event, this convergence, was about coming together to build the villages in our neighborhoods. And what it's turned out to be is this 10-day building of our village here. And as we look around, these are the villagers that have been working for the past 10 days at all of these different sites throughout Southeast Portland.
Village Building Convergence is a 10-day period of time, a burst of kind of cooperative engagement in which citizens come outside and they work together to transform spaces into places.
During the Village Building Convergence, we were building community not only theoretically, but also with our hands.
Hey, I feel great. Covered with paint, that's how it's supposed to be.
Everybody can come and paint if they want to. Like some people that I know that don't even live in this neighborhood and come here and paint. And it's good to know them if they're from a different neighborhood.
A bunch of different people have been participating in this. The children and the families came out and painted the intersection. Then we have some expertise carpenters in the neighborhood that are helping us out with building the trellises and putting down the concrete and things like that. So it's a great way to build social capital in the neighborhood and get the neighborhood together.
A lot of neighbors wanted to do something better. They wanted to build for the future. They wanted a place set for the kids. So that was motivation for us to do something.
We are engaging people where they live, and they're building new relationships. They're creating physical artifacts that encourage them to communicate and gather after the fact. And then as Portlanders, the general population, moves through the fabric of the city, they see these artifacts and they interact with them, and the stories continue, the stories broaden and deepen, and they inspire.
We created this village where we've lived, worked, played, celebrated, cried, built, everything together. And people feel that and are taking that home and want to make that happen even more.
I'm now talking to my neighbors that I haven't ever met for the 5 years I've lived here. And now we're all getting together and we're celebrating each other's birthdays together, and we're not building anything yet, but we have gained so much just by this process of coming together and learning what are the steps that are necessary to build our community.
It's my hope that people stand up and say, this is my city. And we're not just talking about Portland, Oregon, we're talking about everywhere.